You're with Julian and the Brown Note and a review of Ambulance, the latest film by esteemed Oscar-winning director Michael Bay. I don't think that's true. See, I've given Michael Bay a lot of chances because I think that deep down he is a good filmmaker. The reason is that in some of his terrible films, that Transformers one with Mark Wahlberg in, Six Underground, there are passages, usually even in a film like Armageddon, the first 40 minutes is actually really well done. It's well helmed. It's, you know, the introduction to the characters is good. It's well shot. And then it develops into this collage of visual brain parts that he has that completely overwhelm any sense of there being a story, and very difficult to actually watch. I think I actually reviewed that Mark Wahlberg Transformers film, and it wasn't even the worst one. And I think I actually set it going about 4 times because after it got to sort of the midsection and it was overwhelmed by all of the effects and everything, I just kept finding myself looking at the wall and going, oh, I'm watching this film, and just really struggling to get through. So he is definitely directed a lot of very, very bad films, but Pain and Gain was very underrated. That Mark Wahlberg true story, crime caper, dark comedy, very dark comedy, was really good. 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, did he actually direct that? Because he did a good job, I thought. I thought he did pretty good. And Six Underground was bookended by some horrible Michael Bay-isms. But the mid bit, when they were attacking that big tower, I thought was really good. He's returned with Ambulance. And the reason I'm so disappointed with this is I thought now he's given the Transformers franchise the flick, or it has flicked him, and he's not involved in Bad Boys or any of that, that he would retreat from where he was and deliver us some really quality action films. And that's not been the case with this film, which is his best reviewed film in ages. I am so shocked by that. So this features, for some reason, that only Jake Gyllenhaal knows, Jake Gyllenhaal, one of the finest actors of his generation, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who's been quite a lot, and the Mexican actress Isa Gonzalez, who's been in a lot. She was in the last Godzilla film. And it centers around bank robbers. So the Yahya Abdul-Mateen character, his wife's really sick. He's got an infant son, and his wife needs very expensive surgery. He goes to tap up Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal says, "You want the money? Come on this bank robbery job." So they go on the bank robbery job, and everyone's killed apart from them. And the ambulance with Isa Gonzalez and whoever the driver is, very, very poor, no-mark performance, are kidnapped by them to get out of this, this Federal Reserve style bank. Everyone's lying around on the floor dead, so the ambulances start coming up, so they kidnap the ambulance drivers. And the rest of the film is a chase movie where they're inside the ambulance, where a cop has been shot and is being looked after by Isa Gonzalez. That was actually a clever plot point because it gave you a reason to believe that the police would not, shut this vehicle down more than they did. And they go through the city for the rest of the movie being chased by police, and toings and froings with the characters. Jake Gyllenhaal's a really nasty one. Yahya Abdul is a really nice guy underneath, and forms a bond with Isa Gonzalez character. It's absolute crap. Everything about it was awful. Nearly. So the worst things about Michael Bay are undoubtedly editing. He's got the worst track record of editing in movie history. If you need one shot, he will give you 5 edits for no reason, usually of jerky shots that aren't framed well. And it's nightmarish and headache-inducing and artistically awful and aggravating. And in combination with that is he cannot let a camera sit still. He does so many swirling shots. He is the embodiment of somebody that is making a 3-minute rap music video with dancers in it, but does that for 2 hours, which is so aggravating. Now, the last few films he's done, there have been high points here and there. Pain and Gain wasn't full of that level of editing and relentless camera work. You actually got to see actors on the screen talking to each other for more than 3 or 4 seconds at a time. And you seriously do not hear. From the start, I was like in agony from the word go with this film. This is one of the worst examples of his poor filmmaking side I have ever seen, and that is really saying something. The other part is that his writing of characters can be awful. Again, Pain and Gain, it was the characters were brilliant. Rock and Mark Wahlberg were really well-defined characters. Everyone here is really, really badly defined. Cut out caricatures where you would have more personality and depth on the actual caricature. They are uniformly terrible, apart from Isa Gonzalez, the only actor that actually walks out of this with their head held high. She does nothing wrong. She's perfectly fine throughout the film. I don't know how. She must have some great skill. Jake Gyllenhaal, brilliant actor, is just awful. His character is so bad. Most of the characters are defined on the back of a crisp packet in like 3 seconds and never move from that point. And you can't care about anything that happens to anyone. I don't know if Abdul Mateen II's performance is good or bad here, but I didn't care about his sick wife because none of the characters are defined to an extent you would. These are carbon copies of characters from other films. There's kind of like sort of towards the last third, when it calms down to being about them just in the ambulance, is kind of exciting and riveting at that point for a little while. I kind of got into it there, but it's just so difficult to care about anything that happens in this film. Jake Gyllenhaal's dad was a cool bank robber in the past, and now he's a bank robber, and it's probably the worst Jake Gyllenhaal role I have ever seen. Ever. Number one worst Jake Gyllenhaal role. I don't know what he was thinking at this stage. He's made some action-y films before, but nothing like this. There's not one original bone in this film's body, but wouldn't matter if it was a really well put together action film. It wouldn't matter with great characters. I mean, at times it kind of hints at being Heat. It's not. It's certainly not that. The bank robbery, it's like everything is so half-assed here. The bank robbery itself is, because they're getting to the ambulance part of the movie, they just don't care about making that large. All that happens is they walk into a bank and all of them get shot in like 5 minutes. So you can't care about anything at all that happens here. Even the sort of the hazy, I don't know if you remember the movie Training Day, where they get like the LA cityscape in the sort of late afternoon haze, and that was all quite. This is like all the way through the film. It's very the level of spinny camera and editing might be maybe Michael Bay was trying to fit more edits in one film than has been made in history and get a Guinness World Record out of it. This is one to avoid like the plague. It's the worst film I think I've seen this year. And I went into it wanting to like it. So Ambulance, I'm going to give a 3 out of 10.